Hello, good day. So, welcome back to Jai After Hours. We are at episode 7, and in this episode, we will feature one of our condo units and we will share with you how we designed it, the things that we encountered, the things that you should consider when you are designing a condo. So, again, I am here now with architect Andy,
Hello.
and we will start discussing with, first of all, the layout on how we what we encountered and how we solved the problems that we encountered.
Yep, so for this project, our first problem that we encountered was the shape and layout of the space. So this project specifically had a was in a building that
That was
was in
round.
round,
Yes.
literal circle. So it had curved walls or curved windows rather.
Both.
Both pala.
Both, basically. So, in one floor, there are only, I believe, 4 units. So, it's basically like a quarter of a circle. So, if you imagine it, so when you enter your unit, you'll be surrounded basically with all of the walls that are curved. And the thing is, it wasn't just the walls. The windows were also not in the usual 90-degree position. It was angled
Like
out. How to explain it? Like that. So when you put the issue there is later we'll discuss with you. It's the window treatment. So
Okay, so how did we? So, of course, we had to work on the furniture layout
mhm.
by considering where the walls or where the fixed wall is.
Yes, where the placement, basically it was a 3 bedroom unit. So there are certain areas that was already allocated for where the beds should be, especially for the bedrooms. And on a certain wall facing the street, you have a curved balcony as well. And the nice thing about that is you can see a view of the city. So, and it was actually a really perfect view. And one of the requirements that was given to us was they wanted to have a really good night view, and they entertain people a lot, so their friends, family. So we wanted to have a space that was warm enough and also conducive enough to entertain, to have guests over, have some wine, watch something, and also entertain even in the balcony. So yeah, so it was again, as is common in a condo space, the living room and the dining room are both are open, so there are no separate walls except for the kitchen. The kitchen was actually on a separate room.
Okay, so that's it for.
So yeah, so one of the things actually that we had a problem with was the air conditioning units.
Yep.
So that was already included in the design of the when it was turned over. So they had some air conditioners, and it was a split type of air conditioner. So that means you have an indoor unit where the cold air comes in, and an outdoor unit which was supposed to be outdoors, but it was indoors, which will show you again how it affected our layout. And basically, it um, it took up a lot of space inside the unit. So it was faced on the curved wall below the window, and you needed to have access to it because, of course, when you have your regular maintenance for your air conditioner, you have to have it cleaned every so often. Usually, it's every 6 months for residential. So that means if you put something on that area, you have to make sure that it can be removed. Whatever finish you have can be removed so that it doesn't look like an outdoor space. It doesn't look like a service space. It looks more of a still part of your interior.
So actually, when I saw it, it did look like a chest or
Yes, yes.
Parang casket
Yeah,
siya.
it's a box, and those are one of the things. So whenever we go into a new space, whether it's a condo or especially for the existing space,
Mm.
we take actual measurements. That's very very important.
Mm-mm.
So if why is that? Because even if your developer gives you a copy of your plans, it doesn't necessarily match to what's inside the space. So even if that should be the case, but it doesn't always happen. And since condo, this one is particularly large, but normally condo spaces are really quite tight. So you have to be able to make sure that every part of the space is planned correctly so that your furniture will fit, everything fits well, and you won't have any all of a sudden, let's say you buy furniture and then it doesn't fit um, wherever space you're putting it. So that's why it's very very important for us to have actual site measurements. So that means uh, measuring the walls, the ceiling, the height of the ceiling, the location of the lights, the location of the switches, everything basically, to make sure that we're able to accommodate for all our plans.
Okay, so how did we um fix this aircon box thingy?
Mhm.
So one thing that we did was we made it look like it's integrated into the space, and that's one way was that we used the same finishes or similar finishes rather, or we painted it to look match the wall, and
Yes.
also we built a desk around it.
So
So,
for all three bedrooms, which each had a separate air conditioner,
mm,
the master bedroom had a desk. The
the other bedroom
other
also had a
bedroom,
desk, and
yes,
then the other one also, I
didn't
know,
have a
didn't
desk.
have a
Yeah,
desk.
because there was two beds already there, so we didn't have enough space. So we just placed a bench,
Um, a
cushion.
cushion to make it like a bench.
Yes, actually, although just so you know, it was actually a little bit higher than the
Mm.
usual height.
But it
But
made
it's
it
still
look like a nice reading nook.
correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so the next thing that we did was we saw pala there was not much storage for the toilet rooms or the bathrooms. So
Mhm.
one thing we did was that we built a niche above the toilet, since they made,
So there was like the toilet wasn't
yes,
flush on the wall, meaning it
yes.
wasn't like it wasn't on the back of the wall. There was like some space there. So
Mm-mm.
that means on top of that, we were able to build a niche, some shelves basically, so that you can
Mm-hmm.
store your toiletries, your
Cleaning
tissue,
supplies also.
yes, and anything else that you wanna keep there.
Yep, so that's one thing we did for the bathrooms. And then next thing we did was the lights. Okay, this is common for condos. If
Mhm.
you can tell, once you buy or enter a empty condo, the lights are ugly.
Yes, they usually just put a light at the
Mm.
center of the room, which of course does not, you know, make it look warm. It doesn't give your space uh,
An
nice
appeal.
ambiance. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not appealing to go home to. It looks like, you know, um,
A box with a light.
yes, in the middle. And how do you usually design? How do we usually design lighting, or what is the proper way to do that? It's usually goes around where your furniture is. So, for example, you have a dining table, so you have your chandelier on top of that. If you have your coffee table in the living room, your chandelier will be at the center.
Mm-mm.
So again, you should also be aware of glare. So that means when we choose lighting and when we choose positioning, there's a lot of things to consider. And when people are on the seat, let's say of the sofa, you have to make sure that they don't have glare when you put the lights on. So in this particular project, we opted to use magnetic lights, and that means there's a long track where you can like put the light, and the light is there are different kinds. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a down light, like there are small bulbs on that.
Mm-hmm.
There are also directional light, meaning you
Mm-hmm.
can change the direction if there's a accent, or let's say a painting that we wanted to spotlight. So you can move the direction of the light and direct it towards the painting. And I think, yeah, I think
Mm.
that's like the usual thing that you have. And the good thing about having a magnetic track light is you're able to remove the clips on it, and it's easy to actually do. You can,
Just
DIY it.
move it around.
Yes, there's just kind of a lock that you press,
Yeah.
and then when you can like reposition it. So if for some reason you wanna change the current position it has, it's flexible as compared to having like fixed lighting.
Yeah, so actually that's one way that you can custom.
Right.
And yeah, and but for condos it's limited because there's only one light source sometimes.
Yes. So normally you have to
Drop your ceiling. And what we mean by dropping the ceiling is that you add an extra layer so that you can customize where you want your lights.
Yes,
Or how
because
you want your
all
lights
the
to be.
wiring will be coming from the center, and you'd like distribute it.
Yep.
The electrician will distribute it around and you won't be able to see all the wires.
The wires.
So that's the important thing. It hides the wiring.
And but note, you have to consider where the sprinklers are or your smoke detectors.
Correct.
And condos usually have a fee if you have to move it around or drop it.
Yes,
Also.
because a lot of condos actually don't consider that you will drop the ceiling. So the sprinkler needs to have a clearance of 100 mm, or that's 4 inches from the top of the ceiling. So there should be no obstruction around. So meaning to say, if you already have, let's say your ceiling is here, and then your sprinkler is just there exactly at 4 inches, and you want to drop the ceiling, you'd have to move the sprinkler as well. Otherwise, your condo will not be, you won't be given a permit to
Construct.
yeah, basically, you won't be allowed. And the only people who are allowed are the accredited contractor of the condominium who are allowed to move that. So that would be for all the fire safety. So sprinkler, smoke detector. So, and of course there's a corresponding fee for that, and it differs per condo.
Yep. So our next limitation for this project, like every other project, is that we can't chip or put holes on the common or shared walls.
Yes.
Yes, because they have a reason.
Usually
want
the
to
shared
protect
walls are
them.
also not that thick. So
Yes.
this is also common for, let's say, you're in a commercial space. Whatever is your built space, your enclosures, you have to add another wall to it. So normally what is allowed is having a drywall. A drywall is like a gypsum board wall. And what's a gypsum board? It looks like chalk actually. It's like a paper, and there's like a chalk-like substance in the middle, and it actually is good for walls. It's not as sturdy as, of course, your regular hollow block, but at the same time, it's light, and it's also best used for condo. It doesn't add, because again, you don't want to add too much weight. There's also a structural component to that, and you can't just I want a CHB because it's better, so you can't just do that. So you're really limited to using drywall for that.
Yep, so that's how we were able to add paintings to our walls and
other stuff that you'll see like in the bedrooms.
Yes.
And sometimes when you get to design a condo, for example, at the bed that was originally planned for with the developer. There's only outlets in that like bed, the headboard area. But in, let's say you have a designer and or you want to change the position of the bed, you'd have to move the outlets around because otherwise, you won't have an outlet where to use. So those are a lot of times that we do also, especially if the bed doesn't, if the size of your bed also isn't near the outlet. So you want it to be easy to reach. So those are some of the other considerations. What else?
Okay, just
That's it.
that's it for
So yes,
this
so
project.
actually, this is quite a large project, and there are a lot of other things that you need to consider. And one of the things that we just want to reiterate is, again, measure your walls, right? Consider all the limitations again of your condo. And when you also do construction, usually they have noisy hours, and that's the time that you can do drilling or any noisy, let's say, hammering or noisy works, especially if there are already other people who are living in your condo, and usually they only have 4 hours. Some have like 10 to 2, or some have like 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon. So you have to consider that, because otherwise you'd get a complaint with the neighbors. So those are some of the things that you should consider when renovating your condo, and make sure you get all your permits. And usually it's just from your PMO, so that's your property management officer. And some of them also require a bond. What else? Insurance from the contractor. That doesn't amount so much. Usually it's like what, 2,000, especially if it's a small condo. Really depends on your condo, so you better make sure to ask your admin about it, like what are the things that you need. And your bond, of course, is refundable, but sometimes there are some condos who also charge an administration fee, so you consider that as well. So make sure that your budget is well allotted. So you consider that aside from your construction fees, right? Permit fees, your furniture, and the delivery fees, let's say, for all of your materials. So yes, so we will keep this short, and then we will have a continuation next time of other things that you consider when you fit out your space. Thank you, and don't forget to come to our pop-up space here in Molito, right behind Manam and Uma. And we will be here until the end of May. I am here again with Architect Andy, and thank you for watching Jai After Hours. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook page, TikTok, and all that. Okay, see you again.
Bye.